All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to do something we haven't done in a good long time. To be honest, probably not long enough, but we're doing it anyway because I've got nothing else for you. We're going to look at somebody else's work, and that means quality, right? I've downloaded this specific project. I can't remember what for, but I found it on my computer and I thought, hey, I can do a video on this. Why? Because I got nothing else to do. If I was a busy cinematographer, I would be shooting, but I'm not. I'm talking to you. Woohoo! All right, but before we get there, if you want to learn how to not be a busy cinematographer, if you want to learn how to do all of these little tips and tricks that we're going to be talking about today, the best spot to do it and to support the channel to make sure that I can continue to take the piss out of other people's work on this very stage, the best spot to do it is Patreon. There's a back catalog of thousands of hours of podcasts, videos, breakdowns on stuff that I actually shot. So I know what I'm talking about, not just guessing like I'm going to be today. So if you are interested, the link is in the description below. I appreciate the support. It's the only way I can do these videos. So let us begin. Here we are in a rainy cafe. Boom, we open on the rain, and this is me, right? Thinking about my future. Wait a second. If AI can do this, and I'm not that smart, maybe my job's gone. I'm crying. I think to myself, hey, wait a second. Where did that giant light come? I'll tell you where that light came from. Above. I start typing away. First of all, let's just talk about this. Rain, I know I mention it every time we see rain in any kind of scenario, in any commercial or feature film. Why would you do this, right? Why would you, okay, we're shooting in the corner of the room. This is the classic framework. And this is, we can almost have, this will be like a thesis against all of those people that say, Patrick, you only have one lighting setup. Surely you can't have a career out of one lighting setup, can you? I think you can, right? We're in the corner of the room. We're lighting from the dark side. Already 90% of the work is done, right? And this is hard. Every time we look at other people's work, the advantage that we have is 10,000 decisions have been made before we get here. So now what we're measuring is really the only things you can measure at this stage. It's like, oh, where are you going to bring the light from? Well, that depends on where you sit this person. Where's this person going to sit? That was the decision that was made for us. So we're just looking at that and going, how can we make it just a little bit better? Or what are they doing to try and add a little bit of depth? Because all the time, all you're trying to do is create depth. Why? You're looking at me through a two-dimensional medium, right? We need to make it three-dimensional so we can trick everyone out there into going, wow, you really are good at making pictures, except there's a pattern to it. Now, we don't tell people the pattern, not normal people, but dorks like you watching this, we're going to figure it out. And then we're going to use that pattern and that trick for the rest of our careers until somebody stops paying us. Okay? So we're in the corner of the room. We put the light on the dark side of the line, even if it's a top light. Why? Because we get shadow. Now let's go back to the rain, which is where this whole thing started. Why rain on the window? Because it's a free layer of depth. And if I can have free layers of depth, that's like a little sauce I can just throw in, a little salt and pepper. I can just be like, see? It's magic. Nobody would have thought of doing that. No other cinematographer you would have got on the day would have gone, hey, let's add rain to the window and make it crazy. So add rain. Or if you're not going to add rain, add like grime and dust. Also, we don't have to, well, this is nighttime, so it doesn't really matter. But during the daytime, if you're actually on location, well, now we got to worry about what's out there and we got to block a whole road off if this isn't on a backlot like this. It's trouble. So muck up the windows as much as you can. Dirt, grime. Ooh, now, we haven't done the same lighting scenario, have we? Yes, we have. A little bit of a backlight, 3/4 front light. We're on the shadow side. Okay, that's how you make one part of it interesting. What else do you do? Well, you got to get this line right. And then what am I saying when I'm saying this line? The orientation of the dolly or the slider, whatever we're doing this little push in with, relative to the table. What are we looking for when we line this up? Right, what are you trying to do? You're trying to give it a little bit of depth. If we crab left here, like just imagine the dolly can just roll to the left a little bit. This line gets less and less prominent until all of a sudden it's tucked behind and it doesn't create that angle. What does the angle give us? A little bit of contrast. What do we want? Contrast. Okay, so this is the same lighting setup, little hair light over the top. It's nice and easy. Pracs in the background. Do the pracs actually light anything? No. Should they ever? No. Don't ever light anything with pracs. For real life, just make it up. And you're like, well, hold on a sec. We're going to be shooting this entire commercial in this one location. Everyone's going to realize that the lighting setup is the same and that the lights then disappear from shot to shot. Won't people care? What did you just say? Did you just think that to yourself, that people care? Nobody cares. Nobody. So just make every shot look nice. Is this realistic for this location when we get to the final frame, which is this one? This one. Holy haze, right? Somebody really cooked the haze up in this one. Look at this lady. See this? You're like, but that doesn't match before. Before we had a 8x8, and it was blasting light at her, and we had some neg around, and there was a little hair light, and now that's gone, Patrick. Yes, that's the job. It's make-believe. Good for you. Okay, you're picking it up. So we do the same lighting setup. Why? Because it looks nice. Why are we on this angle? Because it creates depth. See, here, this is light. What's this? This is dark. The more light and dark, the better. Right? This is Old Mate that we just saw previously. Look at how dark he is. Why? It's theatrical. Just go with it. And even if it's not a theatrical commercial, if somebody questions you, first of all, no one's going to question you on set. That doesn't happen unless it's the director. And the director's like, why does this feel completely different? And you go, because it is. That's why. And you go like, aren't people going to care? But dude, this guy is lit up like Christmas, right? He is a Christmas tree here. This is super hot. I'm like, well, how do we not get it on the background? How do we not get that light on the background? Well, it's called the grips, and they make it so. And if it isn't so, how do you solve that? You call your team over and you go, just imagine there was like this light here was shining and it was like spilling onto the wall. And you're like, okay, well, as a cinematographer, how do you fix that? What's the process? Like, do you put the flags in with the net and the grid and the thing and the bang and the boom? Nope. What do you actually do? You go, team, or usually you're on the comms. Listen up, boys. That giant light on the wall, let's get rid of that. And then you hear this, okay, yep, we got it. And then you just sit around and you wait. And then you see it just like disappear. And you go, that's how you do it. You just ask people who are good at their job. Other people are out there right now working on sets, trying to figure out like, oh, how do you actually do it? And then if it's not done, when you ask, like, guys, what's going on? What's going on with that light on the wall? And they go, oh, well, we're having a little bit of trouble. It's finicky. Come on, we got to go. And then you talk to the first AD, like, I don't know. It's taking a little bit longer than usual. Let's just tools down for a second. This is going to be quite a big thing here. There's problems all over the place. You make it seem big, and then all of a sudden, miraculously, oh, no. We're back on. We solved it. Good job, boys. Shout out to the team. Like, that baby Rick. And now what makes this cool, though, is like, and what you're doing while you're sitting around having your cappuccino is you're going like, we got a shot of this dude. Like, what would make this cooler? What would make this shot cooler? We've already done like the sidey profile shot where we get the angle of the table. We need like a different version. This guy's up against the wall. It's going to be kind of boring and flat. Well, let's chuck in a prac, first of all. And then what about if we go through these two dudes, right? Which that doesn't sound right when you say it out loud. Hopefully you're watching this video and not just listening to the audio, but we're going straight through these two dudes. And, and that's what makes it interesting. We're on the move. That's kind of fun. It's also like a nice spot. Did we talk about that one already? We didn't. Like, okay, here. Why did we add? Why the hair light here if it's all the same setup? And why not the hair light? Well, not in any of these. Get out of here. In this one. Probably because there's just not enough room. It's like, maybe that's the answer sometimes to why did they light something like that? And back to this one. Same setup. And a little close up. These are all easy. Like, what's the rule? Now, if you set this up, right? Say we set this shot up, because you will set this shot up 1,000,000 times in your career. And the director's like, okay, it took a little bit longer than I thought to set up. So we're going to have to make up some time. So we're going to do a couple of insert shots. Do you mind if you just jump in there with the camera? We'll just ping some stuff off. And you go, yeah, no problem. And they go, okay, just fire a few off. I'd like to get a few like looking at the paper here. And then I want to get a close-up of her on the glasses. What's the number one rule to making any shot that you want in this scenario? Once the light is set up, look good. What do you have to do? Please, for the love of God, get this. You just have to stay on the dark side. That's it. You can shoot anything you want. You shoot the hands, you shoot the face, you shoot the tie, anything. Is it really that easy, Patrick? No. I mean, it is, but you don't say that. You say, hold on, we got to like make it slightly better. You don't want to go too fast. Okay, so all on the dark side. Same here. Same there, dark side, bang, 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 keys. And Holy haze. I love the haze. I think this dude also changed seats, right? He was in the other spot before. And then we cut to where the cinematographer would really be frothing here. It's like, ooh, we missed focus as well. That's the look that you give the focus puller. Like, are we sharp there? You look over. Guy's got glasses on. You're like, oh my God. So one thing that the cinematographer here would be frothing on is just like, what are we going to do with, we just need a little bit of depth. Like, what if we just orange it up back there? How does that sound? I'm like, yeah, good point. And then that'll create this little bleed of red light here. We got this thing. That looks interesting. But again, look at the rows. Like always looking for those lines. Never cutting off, never trying to make flat. That's how you make something good. And that's why this feels nice all the time. Because if you do that every single shot, that's like one of those little 1% gains. If you are looking for that depth every single time, that's interest over time. I mean, it does help that 99% of what we're looking at is art department and shot selection, which in a commercial is going to be storyboarded up well before you even get there. But this is nice. Like somebody's got good taste. All right, we got a good table. We got a nice little salt and pepper shaker, not boring. Nice little cup here. This is fun. And then we cut to the wall with the little thing that comes on. They would have been. Would have been everyone's packing up like, let's go home. We're in overtime already. We got to make it like pick one spot on the wall and ta-da, there it is, logo. Now, is this one lighting setup done over and over again? Yeah. Is it still interesting? Yeah. Is it still fun to do on the day? Man, you get your buddies together, you get your friends, you get everybody jobs, and you're laughing, having a good time, right? That was what it was like in 2022. You don't even know. Anyway, I don't know if these help. They certainly don't help me, but they're fun to do sometimes to make some jokes and see, why did I actually download this project? I actually think it was for this level of haze. I think I told somebody, what about, I got a message from post-production. Oh, you really overcooked the haze in this shot. We can't use it. You show them this. Like, dude, everybody overcooks it. Get with the program. Anyway, good luck. And you hang up the phone. Not my job. No, you don't do that. Okay. That is going to do it for this one. Many thanks, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.